Here are some instructions on how to set up an Edublog for a student. So the first thing you need to do is just open up the internet and then type in Edublogs. So it's edublogs plural.org. And then you need to log in. If you are the administrator, you can actually log in and control everyone else's internet. So I'll just press login there. So I've already saved my details there, so I'll just press login. So once I've got that, I'm going to go to my sites, and I'm going to Aline's Art Department and Dashboard. The dashboard is where you control everything, and the Aline's Art Department is the umbrella for all the dashboards. So if I go to my class, which is where all our blogs are kept, and I go to create student blogs, so I click on there, and that will allow us to open a page to allow us to add a new student blog. So I press this, add new student blog. So it's really quite straightforward. So if I was to open a blog for, let's say, Sally Reynolds, what I like to do is I like to find out that student or that person's email address. So the easiest thing to do, I find, is just to open an email if I was typing it to them. So if I type here Sally Reynolds, if I click on that, and then what I then do is I right hand click on there and I go view details, and then it will open up all the details of that person. So, and what I do is I just copy, it's gonna let me do it, so I copy and I go back here, so I copy the student's name like so, username Sally Reynolds, password I have been using the student's first name like so, the blog name I will use as the student's name, and the blog title I'll also call it the student's name. The email, I will then go back and find that person's email, so Reynolds SC, so can I copy that? But let me copy it. So oops, yeah, so it's Reynolds SC at alines.org.uk. So I type here Reynolds SC dot alines.org.uk. So that is ready to go. So I've got all the details here. Now sometimes you can't have a URL called Sally Reynolds if there is already one called that. So, but we can only find out when we press create blog. So it's invalid email. Oh, that's why it's Sally Reynolds at, there we go. So that's now creating it. So it's complete now. So I can just shut that, and if I go to here and I actually click on student blogs, and I can go to my class, and let's just look. So this is ordered alphabetically, so it will be somewhere near the back, so I'm just going to click to the back, and I'm just going to go back one page because the last one on the top is Suki. So Sally Reynolds, there we are. So if I click visit, it will show me what the blog looks like. So it's got this sidebar here, it's got all these things here, so we don't really want it to look like that. So I've investigated and tried out different themes, and the most neutral theme is one called Sketch. I'm going to show you how to change a theme because there's hundreds of themes. So under Sally Reynolds, we go to Dashboard. And then here is how you control. Now the first thing I'm going to change is the appearance. So the theme, I'm going to change it. So if I go to theme, I can change the theme to many. So there's literally like 415 themes. Some you have to pay for. But like I said, the one I've been using a lot is called Sketch because it's just very neutral. So I just click on Activate. And if I go back to Sally Reynolds and click on Visit Site, you can see. So at the moment it says Sally Reynolds, and this is just an introduction thing. It has home and sample page. Just click on sample page. So we have 2 pages here. We also have loads of things on the side called widgets that we're going to get rid of. So we basically, what I want is the tabs to say different things here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Sally and Dashboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go to Settings, and I'm going to go to General. Now what happens is when you post something, it adds a date, and we don't really want a date, so we don't really need the examiner to know when the thing was posted and whatnot. So what I do is, can you see date format, it goes December, so automatically it tells you what date it is. So what you do is go to Custom, and where it has this information here, just delete that, Custom, and delete, and then Save Changes. And now whatever you post will have no date on. And then also this bit here says just another blog. I'm just delete that, press save. So now doesn't show a date. So if I go back on there should be no indication of date anywhere when you post things. Now I'm going to show you how to get rid of these things here now. So go back to Sally Reynolds Dashboard. And if I now go to Appearance and I go down to Widgets, they're called widgets, those things on the side. So this is your sidebar of widgets. These are all things I give you automatically. So I'm just going to click and delete. So I delete every single one. It just makes the blog look more streamlined. I mean, students, if they want to, they can add those things, but I don't really think it's necessary. So I go back and visit site to show you what it looks like. So you can see all these things have gone. So now we've got a home page and a sample page. So we're going to change these two. Go back to Sally Reynolds, Dashboard. So those 2 things are called menus. They're the menus on the top of the page. So I'm going to change one for GCSE to collections, and the other one I'm going to change to identity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to pages. Those are things, but I'm not going to add a new page at the moment. So I'm going to go down to appearance here, and I'm going to go down to menus. So we already have 2 existing menus, and most classes only have 2 projects, so it's fine. So at the moment it's asking for a menu name, so I'm just going to call it my menu. Doesn't really matter what you say, my menu, and I'm going to go create menu. Now when I go to here where it says pages are those things on the top of the page. I go view all, and it says home page, sample page. Those are the 2 things we saw, so I'm going to click on both of them, and I'm going to click on that to add to my menu. Now the home page is a page it opens up on automatically. So if I want it to open up on collections, I'm going to click on here, and where it says navigation label, I'm just going to click, instead of it saying home, I'm going to click on collections. So that is now called collections. And where it says sample page, which is the other tab, I'm going to call that one identity. Like so. So once I do that, I have to press save. Now the first time you do this, you also have to do one additional thing. Where it says manage locations, you click on that, and then where it says primary menu, I just go main menu, social links, my menu. So I press save. So I now have done that. So I go back here, just press save just for double check. So I'm going back to Sally visit site, and we now have, it opens on collections, and if I click on that, it's called identity. So if I click back on collections, it's really easy to use. So all you need to do is where it says edit, click on edit, and I'm going to call this page collections, and I am going to delete all that, and I click on update. You have to always click on update, otherwise it won't save. And now when I go to visit the site, you can see it looks like that. So every time I want to do something, I just click on edit. If I want to do the same here, I click on identity and I click on edit. I don't want it called sample page obviously, so I'm just going to go here and click on type in identity, delete that, and click on update. And if I go here, so there we go. That is how I set up an Edublogs for a student. Once you've set it up, so once you put in the email, they'll get an email with instructions on how to log on. But that is, once they've done it, once it's been done, you then have to go in and set it up so it looks like this. Otherwise it will look like it did originally, which doesn't look as good. So this is how you set up an Edublogs for a student.